Not even halfway into 2022, and I've already been able to read some fantastic titles this year. Hello everyone, I'm Zath and welcome back to my channel. Today's video will be my April manga haul. I think I went a little bit overboard with collecting this month, but once you get hooked on a series, it's hard to stop at just one volume. Did you pick up any titles that stood out to you this month? Let me know in the comments below, or if you like, message me over at Twitter. I'm very active over there. Either way, I do want to hear what you've been reading. But for now, sit back, relax, and without further ado, let's talk about some manga. Starting us off this month is Black or White, Volume 3. Since finishing Volume 2, I needed the next volume. I don't see enough people talking about this amazing series, and I'm honestly stunned. This is a terrific story about two actors who live with one another and try to keep their relationship a secret. Easier said than done when their popularity starts to rise and all eyes are on them. Drama heats up in this particular volume when someone finds out about Shin and Shige's relationship. Jealousy arises in Shige even though he knows he shouldn't be having those feelings. Maintaining distance between each other outside their professional lives takes its toll. One of the things I absolutely love about this series so far is the dedication between Shin and Shige. Despite the drama and how tough it is at times, they love each other so much and do whatever it takes to make their relationship work. I absolutely love this volume and I can't wait to read the next one. I've been thinking about doing a short review for this series to help get people interested in reading the series, so let me know if that's something you'd also want to see. I'd like to introduce you all to my new favorite isekai, The Savior's Book Cafe Story in Another World, Volume 1. This manga is based on the light novel of the same name by Kyoka Uzumi. The series is published in English by 7 Seas. And man, can I finally say, here's some isekai I can get behind. Our main character is Tsukina, who is a middle-aged office worker who is given the chance to go to another world and become a heroic savior. Instead of being thrilled at the idea, she wants to turn it down. However, she can't exactly bow out, and instead gets the god of the world to grant her some wishes. Which turn out to be a little too specific, so he ends up making her a necklace that'll give her basically anything. And can we just appreciate how many questions she asks? For the first wish, she states that she wants to understand, the basic language of the new world she's in. And I feel like in most of these series, going to another world, the main character never really asks for, basic understanding of things. They're just hey, give me giant sword or OP abilities. Also, a woman after my own heart, she loves to read, so she wants to start up a book cafe on the outskirts of one of the largest cities. Now, this first volume does have some set dressing, and we see the introduction of other characters, potential conflicts, and perhaps a budding romance? All these things combined make for a series I absolutely love. Next up, I picked up Golden Kamuy, Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4, and Volume 5. After these volumes, I can officially say I adore this series. Volume 5 really solidified it for me with the perfect blend of story, comedy, and some beautiful page spreads. And finally, I saw the context around the orca coming up onto the beach during a fight. This series has been a wild ride so far, and I have been devouring each volume I can get my hands on. You'll be seeing more of this series soon because I can't wait to keep reading this. Next up is Lynx by Natsuki Kazu. She's also the same mangaka of Given. This manga is a collection of stories that are interconnected together. It is very poetic, emotional, and a blend of all sorts of character types. With chance meetings and tragic starts, it really does cover a wide variety of relationships. It wasn't my favorite BL manga. I did enjoy Given's story more by comparison, but I still recommend picking up the series to support the mangaka and if you're wanting to read some drama. Next up is Ten Dance by Inosato, Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, and Volume 4. I got pretty hooked on this series because of the always enjoyable rivals to romance trope. Shinya Suzuki is king of standard traditional ballroom dancing, while Shinya Suzuki reigns in his own Latin dance circle. One day, Suzuki brings up the challenge of competing at the 10 dance competition. In order to do so, they must learn each other's dance style. Suzuki offers to teach Suzuki standard ballroom dancing if he will teach him Latin in return. One of the things I loved most about this series was the feeling we've all experienced where we meet someone who is as passionate about something you enjoy to the same degree. It's amazing, isn't it? It makes you feel good and happy. Whether it's sports or a hobby, it pushes you both forward. Suzuki is inspired by Suzuki's love of dance, and the way that he expresses it in his own dance style. Suzuki sees how hard Suzuki has worked to hone his own craft, but he only ever achieves second place over and over because the odds are fixed against him. Passion sparks between the duo as they dance together and find out more about one another, leaving things more complicated than either had originally expected. I know nothing about ballroom dancing since it wasn't a sport I was into, but I have a lot of respect for anyone who puts time and effort and love into their passions. The manga explains dances, footwork, and even the different systems of competition in order to give us readers a basic understanding of the world these two characters live in. I am dying to read the next volume. I believe there are currently 6 volumes out at the time of this video's recording, and I will be getting my hands on them as soon as possible. I also picked up Black Clover Volume 28. The big battle kicks off in the Spade Kingdom as the Magic Knights take on the Dark Triad. Plenty of power-ups in this volume along with Asta's new form, which looks pretty awesome. I'm always happy to see Charlotte, who happens to be one of my favorite characters from the series. I hope we see more of her battle in the next volume. Things are looking pretty bad for Nock, and I'm a bit worried for him. I also really like the small form of the friendly devils that he has. I really enjoyed this volume overall. The mangaka Yuki Tabata did release a statement this last week or so, saying that Black Clover is going on a short 3-month hiatus as he works on the final arc. I know one of my favorite current ongoing shonen series is wrapping up, unfortunately, but I am excited at the same time to see how everything turns out. Next up is My Love Mix-Up, Volume 1 and Volume 2 by Aruko and Wataru Hinkura. And oh my god, this series! The story is about a trio of high school students who experience a huge misunderstanding, like the title says. The crux of the mix-up is because of an eraser that belongs to Hashimoto. She lends her eraser to Aoki, who sits next to her in class since he forgot his. Aoki sees the eraser has another classmate's name on it, Ida. Ida is the boy sitting in front of Aoki. During class, Ida turns around and sees Aoki with the eraser and thinks that Aoki likes him. It's been a little while since I enjoyed a shoujo title this much, and I love this story so far, and its characters. From Aoki, who is kind to those around him, even though people might not notice, to Ida, who is serious and straightforward, to Hashimoto, who is just adorable as she learns to be more confident while watching her friend Aoki. I admit the only thing I was worried about when I started this series was the risk of a love triangle, because I'm not a big fan of that trope. But friends, let me tell you, reading the final page of Volume 1 has me ordering the next volumes, and I'm going to be sticking with this series for a while because it is awesome. I love it. I highly recommend this series for any shoujo fan, or if you're just wanting to read something that's genuine and adorable, this is the manga for you. Adding some more stunning hardback to my collection with the Full Metal Alchemist Full Metal Editions, Volume 15 and Volume 16. Hohenheim and Bradley take the covers for these 2 volumes with Pride on the back of Volume 16. Only 2 more volumes of this Full Metal Editions to go before we see the series fully published in these beautiful hardbacks. Some of my favorite chapters in the entire Full Metal Alchemist series are in Volume 16, specifically Roy's showdown with Envy will always tug on my heartstrings, and Riza's dedication to Roy makes them, in my opinion, one of the best couples in manga. I will not be taking any questions at this time. And finally, to wrap up this haul, is the first box set of Naruto, which contains Volume 1 through 27. Now, this box set in particular includes my favorite moments in the Naruto series. One of my favorite arcs is still the Land of Waves with Zabuza and Haku at the very start of the series. Say what you will, but that not another word panel still gets me to this day. Like many of you, Naruto was something I grew up with when I was first starting out on my manga journey, and was one of 2 series I followed closely with its release in Japan. I'm really glad to have this box set in my collection, and will probably want to collect the entire series at some point. And while this series probably doesn't need any more recommendations, I still think it's a solid series worth your time. And that's gonna do it for my April manga haul. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, if you have any opinions on these series, or any additional recommendations for new series I should check out, let me know in the comments below. If you want to see more of this content, please like and subscribe. I'm Zath. Have a good day.